Oh yeah, Black Sun in the Hizzle, all for shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. So yeah, this Wrestling Wednesdays, man. So we're gonna give down. Oh, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time tonight on Wrestling Wednesdays. Y'all know how we do, man.
It's going down.
Got my money up, turn that S to a dollar sign. Chicks and me the promoter like it's pop time.
Arena Uncensored.
I guess nothing interesting is happening in the world of wrestling, huh? My goodness, man.
Unbelievable.
So me being the Vince McMahon fan on the panel, I gotta say that this is very upsetting because like there's a couple of interesting things we need to keep an eye on. According to Vince McMahon, he says that he got bad information. People who told him that he should have stepped down last summer. They said that they told him that it wasn't a good look for the company. Go ahead and step down. But he's been listening to other people, and they said, well, just stick it out. It'll blow over. And then with the news of Dana White slapping his wife, it kind of swept the Vince McMahon sexual allegations under the rug. I think Vince McMahon is bad for the WWE right now because I don't think any 70, damn near 80-year-old man knows a thing about creative. Now, it's his company, so I'd be a hypocrite in the same vein to say, oh, you can't do anything with your company. It's his company. But as long as he stays out of the creative, then I'm fine.
Right. Oh my God.
So yeah, it's a mess, man.
Business.
Vince never had confidence in Triple H. Triple H was kind of like, that's why I honestly, and I said something to my boys earlier today. I said I wouldn't be surprised if I see Triple H in AEW by the end of the year. No, because I think I'm telling you, I think it's about to get ugly, man. Because Vince is too cutthroat, man. He is.
Right.
I'll say this. I think we have to look and it's kind of crazy to say it, but honestly, I think we gotta look past Vince. You know what I mean? Like if whoever takes over this company and whoever he sells it to, what choices are they gonna make going forward for the vision of the company? I think that's more important than Vince getting control back over, with creative or not. I think whoever he's gonna sell this company to, how are they gonna structure the overall plans of the company going forward? I think that's more important than Vince himself, to be honest with you.
It's all about Vince, and I feel so bad saying this because I love that type of businessman. So I don't want to come off like a hypocrite right now, but this is where you could call me emotional, Black Son. This is going to be the one time you could call me emotional, because I'm just thinking about, I've been watching this shit for 35 years. My daughter loves this shit, man. My daughter makes TikTok videos of her pretending to be a woman's WWE Women's Champion. And so for me to potentially tell her one day that's it, it's over. We're not gonna watch AEW. What the fuck? I'm not gonna watch that. It's that's what I'm saying, man. Personally, for me, this is really bothering me, man, because I'm like, damn, man. What am I gonna do?
Something.
Let's get fucking like a monkey, baby. Whether you like it or don't like it, sit down and look at it, because it's the best going today.
What I'd like to have right now.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
It's showtime, folks.
Get some man.
And what's it gonna do when Hulkamania and the largest arms in the world run wild on you?
Who's next? Hey, how about that, ladies and gentlemen?
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold Simpson. Rest in peace.
Get ready. Woo! We are on tour and we're doing it better than anybody else alive.
What time is it? Tell me what time it is.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
Oh, it's true. It's damn
So this goes to all my freaks out there. Big Papa Pump is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
See, you don't know where the macho man is coming from, but the cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah. Can you dig it, sucker? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Today's Wednesday, and when it's Wednesday, it's Wrestling Wednesdays.
This is Venkat, and joining us shortly will be Blackson, Trevor, MD20, and others. Just waiting for our guests to come through.
What up? What up, man? Hey.
There we go. There's the man himself, Black Sun. What's going on, Black Sun?
Man, I'm ready, man. I'm ready, man. Shoot. And I don't know if you heard, Yanga had a good idea. He wants to do a top 10 kung fu movies of all time. So I'm trying to I'm trying to yeah. I don't know if you want to participate, but yeah, man.
Sounds good. Sounds real good.
Yeah. Well, oh shoot, man, I can't wait. So what? Where's everybody, man? I'm ready. Shoot, I'm anxious. I'm waiting on.
I know. Trevor will probably be here shortly. He usually comes in fashionably late, but he'll be here.
Okay.
So tonight we're doing the year in review of 2022.
Man, we finally made it, man, to this topic. Dang.
I know.
Dang.
He's getting pushed back every week.
Yo, I mean, really, and some more news came up actually, but you know what? We'll save that for another show. Let me just say it real quick. So AEW is in that list of buying the WWF. So I was like, oh,
of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Which is huge. That is huge.
That is huge.
Yeah.
That is very huge. So yeah.
Trevor just said in the chat he's going to be in 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, cool. That's what's up. Hell yeah. That's what's up. But yeah, when I got that news, I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." Okay.
Yeah, the plot keeps thickening in this whole thing, man. It's just
it does.
And they're looking for like around the summertime to close this out and actually sell the company. So there's going to be a lot of stories coming up.
Well, and it's funny because another thing that came up too, Stephanie and Triple H are protesting the sales, so they were protesting it or something. I don't know. So because they claim that they have stocks and shares, and they're being very disgruntled about the sale. And Vince, I guess he then just totally took over the board. I don't know. So I'm just hearing things left and right, and I'm just like, wow. Can we get to this year in review, man? Because this thing is really snowballing out of control with this whole sale thing. Like, really. People are really biting their teeth, man. And I get it. But, like I told Trevor, I said, me, you, and MD20, we went through this already when they sold the territory. So this is not as, I want to say, heartbreaking as it is to Trevor. I looked at it, but I got to remember, Trevor is, he came in during WWE. I mean, WWE. So, I can kind of feel where he's coming from, but at the same time, it's like, well, now you're feeling what we're feeling, like back in the when the territory's closed, man. Shit. So, the way he looks at AEW is kind of like how I looked at WWE when they were taking up all the territories. You know what I'm saying? I felt the type of way,
What's going on, Trevor?
So let me go ahead and clean it up right now. But before we start the show though, seriously, on a serious note, I don't know if you saw the news, but this morning Jay Briscoe died in a car accident. So
this morning?
Yeah, this morning. I'm not gonna be the guy that's gonna sit here and be like, oh, Jay Briscoe. I've never watched one Jay Briscoe match. I've only heard of the Briscoe brothers. Actually, as a matter of fact, when I heard of the Briscoe brothers, I was thinking of Gerald Briscoe and his brother. That's who I was thinking about. But yeah, I saw it this morning on Twitter. Him and another person died, and then they're also saying that it was a kid in the car also, but I don't think the child. Wow. Yeah, I don't think the child died, but yeah, man, terrible. I mean, because especially to the independent Ring of Honor circuits, he was their everything. The Briscoe brothers. I don't know anything about them, so I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm pretty sure AEW will do a tribute to him tonight. So I'll just watch and see what goes on there. So,
Right.
man, rest in peace to him, man. And like, where does and they're the Ring of Honor tag team champions. So like, where does that leave his brother now? You know, to have to deal with this. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to clear up though, Blackson, the talk of AEW buying WWE is just like me saying I want to buy WWE. Vince will never sell that company to Shad Khan because it would be him admitting it to him. It would be like he's admitting that he lost to his competition.
But let's not get it twisted. They can and do have the resources to buy. It's just Vince's ego that will not allow him to buy. But if this was a scenario where there weren't so many offers out there, like NBC and Fox and whatnot, if it was just that one, he may have felt the pressure to sell to them. So it's very similar to the WCW thing. The only difference is they have more people that are looking to buy WWE at this point.
So Shad, I mean, and I get it because Shad Khan is rich. So just like I told you the other day, Shad Khan is rich. Tony Khan just gets an allowance from his dad. So this is Shad Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, that wants to that's putting it out there about buying the WWE. But I mean, we'll see where it is because I did see the story too about the summer. But last thing before we get into the review, there was some big news in the UFC. So I sent an invite out to my cousin who's not Bones, but his brother. He's a UFC like guru. So I wanted him to come on and talk about it. So I don't know if he'll be able to make it on. I just sent him the invite.
Oh, that would be great.
We got there's some major, I mean, groundbreaking. And I want him to come on and talk about it before I had to say it. So we'll see where that goes. But the thought that the rumors being floated that Stephanie and Triple H are against the sale is just crazy because they knew that that's why Nick Khan was being brought in to help shop the company, and they openly worked with him. So I think
they
knew this was coming.
But I think the objection is primarily with the Saudis, I believe. I think that's the aspect that they're not going for. Now, if it's NBC, okay, fine. If it's Disney, okay, fine. At least it's still in America. At least it's not under some weird regime. But with the Saudis, that would be a completely different look. As you detailed quite well last week.
Yeah,
those ramifications.
Yeah, you know, I'm Team Vince McMahon, but man, that Saudi shit would really piss me off, man. Like that would, just because of everything that it would undo. You know, the women in Saudi Arabia within the past year just got the ability to drive. So can you imagine what they would do to a company like this, where the women dress, naked, halfway naked and stuff like that? It would be crazy.
Okay, so I got some really interesting news from Nature Mom. She said that Saudi, and I told Yanga this, man, I almost fell out of my seat. She said Saudi is actually becoming more liberal and they're about to try to lift gay marriage and shit. So I don't know. And she says that they're trying to appease more to Western standards and all that, because I have to get Yanga to explain it better, because he says that, when Saudi Arabia, the country, formed, you had two sides. You had the government side and you had the religious side. So apparently the religious or the non-religious side is all about money. So I don't know.
Right.
And he said that the extreme side, which the side that Osama bin Laden comes from, they're the more Wahhabis. They're the more hardcore Muslims. So that was very, shout out to Yanga. He gave me kind of a little insight. He said, when I told him that they were thinking about having gay marriages over here, Yanga, who's a Muslim, said he wasn't surprised. I said, what? So I was, so shout out to Yanga. I was thoroughly shocked when he said that. So I
Yeah,
don't
shout
know.
out to Younger Pharrell. Yeah, shout out to Younger and the Democracy Takeover.
Yes, that should take over. Yep.
Yeah, my cousin my cousin just sent me a message asking were we still going to talk about the UFC stuff. So he said he's going to jump on for a bit and tell him to get in now before we start getting into the top story, to the story thing. I guess so I guess you guys know I said it last week. I'm gonna announce it publicly. I'm gonna watch AEW for 1 month.
Of course you are.
Because but it's not because of what you think. You think because you think WWE is going to fail. I don't. Here's the thing that I was thinking about. AEW, I always call them WWE Junior because WWE little brother, because they are. And I had a conversation with Venkat and I was telling them, I said, I start naming all the little promotions that I watch.
Right.
And he was like, damn, he was shocked. And I told him, I said, the reason I don't watch AEW is because they can't just stay in their lane. You're nowhere on the level of the big boys, so why continuously bring them up? That bothers me. That's like your little brother always nagging at you, trying to be you when he can't be you.
And I mean, I thought about that when you said that, and I was thinking about it. I was like the reasons that you dislike AEW was sort of similar to the reasons I dislike WWE, where they just can't seem to just do their thing, and they're always worried about what others are doing.
Exactly.
And WWE with the Nacho Man, you literally gave Macho Man a desk job, literally, and you didn't use him when he was still in his prime. And then he jumped ship over, and you're going with all this sensationalized crap that they always do. It's very petty. Sting comes over, WCW is long gone. You would think that's a moment to use him and utilize him. Sting himself even said, I don't trust the way they're going to handle me. He goes over there, and exactly is what happened.
Exactly.
They didn't handle him right. Booker T went over there. They clowned him. They made him go through all kinds of hoops. But Booker T, to his credit, stuck to it, and he made something out of the run. But it's not ideal. That racist angle with Triple H, that's notorious.
I don't think it was a racist angle, but go ahead.
Oh my God, it was the definition of racist.
It wasn't. Because he said people like you?
He said nappy-headed people like you. He made all kinds of people like you entertain people like me.
Yeah,
it's well defined. It's not even a maybe, a could be.
He meant undercard guys. That's what he meant.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Booker T is way far from an undercard guy. Way far. And paid his dues back in the USWA when he was in the Ebony Express. You're laughing because I know you like to start fires.
I'm messing with you, right?
I know you are 100%, but it doesn't matter.
Hey,
this is where it goes down in the arena.
The worst thing they could have did after all of that, okay, you did that terrible angle. It was terrible. Talking about why don't you just park my car and, why don't you dance and all that shit. At least let the man win the title at WrestleMania 19.
Right.
To have him lose. Oh,
I would have still. But not only that he lost, right? He hit the pedigree and then laid there for a good 25 seconds.
It seemed like an eternity. It seemed like an eternity.
It was 25 seconds. People counted it. It was 25 seconds. That made Booker T look super weak, and that was done on purpose because he's a WCW guy.
Yeah.
So the beef you have with AEW, where they're doing a lot of pettiness, and let's be, I'll speak up for the AEW or any league for that matter, right? But AEW should really shut their mouth because they had that embarrassing firework thing that happened where they were supposed to blow up the ring. I mean, when you do that, you got to shut up for at least 10 years and just get in there and do better work, because that was ridiculously stupid.
And not to mention what I'm pretty sure is going to top our list tonight is that media scrum. So,
oh my God, yes, and And that's the other thing too. Like every time AEW does something phenomenal, and it's like, wow, they are gone. Then they do something completely senseless, petty, and just dumb. And it takes away all the steam. They did it all in 2022. They would do something great and then do two stupid things. And it would just like turn off people like you, Trevor. It would turn off certain people. So they make it hard to really root for them at times. That is a knock, and I do agree with it. But you know, there's good and bad to everything. I mean, even the WWE, you know, I talk about them because I have to.
Yeah.
Somebody has to keep that in check.
And that's why I said I'm going to watch AEW. I'm going to watch it objectively because let's face it, 60% of their roster are guys that I was rooting for 2 years ago over in the WWE, and it will be hypocritical of me now to act like those guys don't exist. Like I was telling you, to me, Daniel Bryan, I mean, I'm a manly man, but at WrestleMania 30, when he made Batista tap, there was a tear that fell down my eyes because I knew everything that it took for him to get to that opportunity. And, you know, with the start of the Yes movement and stuff like that. So they Aleister Black, they got Adam Cole. I love Adam Cole. You know, the Revival to me is the best tag team in the world. And for 2 years, I've not watched it just because I'm like, you know what? No, I'm WWE. Fuck AEW. I'm not watching. I'm not giving them my view, but you know, that's changing. I'm going to watch it tonight. I mean, I may not watch it live, but I am going to watch tonight's show, especially that they're probably going to do a tribute to Jay Briscoe. But yeah, it is. And I've told you, I think the AEW title is the best belt in wrestling right now. That belt is beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
I'm a huge Chris Jericho.
It's not better than the real world title, but
nothing's better than the big gold. Nothing's better than the big gold. Big gold belt is when you think about wrestling, that's it. The big gold.
Right.
That is the belt. Or the winged eagle.
Yeah, AEW has legit people on their roster, and it's not because it's a WWE. They got a nice mix of guys that were on the indie, guys that were outside of the WWE, and guys that were in the WWE. And their roster is so, I don't know if you could say big or bloated. But people are not even on their shows. They're like just on the sidelines, just waiting, which is an indictment on them because that means you need to make another show. They
have the Friday night show.
Right, they got two, but clearly you need another. I mean, they do have AEW Dark Elevation. I do watch that. That's mainly what I watch, but that's really like the low guys. We need like a middle ground show. I think Dynamite and Rampage are like kind of equal. Like they're like Raw and SmackDown, and they need like a NXT-ish situation. And Elevation is just like, I don't know. That's like, I think that's lower than an NXT. I think Elevation is just, let's just get some guys to get some workouts, you know, kind of like what wrestling used to be in the 80s. It's like almost squash matches at times, but they need something in the middle to showcase a guy here and there. Maybe even go back to the old ways. I mean, wrestling does not have to be at nighttime. There used to be a time when could be in the morning and it would be fine. And it doesn't have to be live. It could be pre-taped. Just get another venue out there to showcase these guys' talent because they're just wasting away on the side. So it's a good thing, but it's like you can tell the company is not ready for the roster they have. Like if this was WWE, it wouldn't be a problem because they have so many shows and so many avenues to put shows out. But with AEW, they're just like, they got this one little tiny ship. And they're go ahead.
No, what I like what AEW, I mean, what I like what WWE is doing now, I mean, it took them long enough. It took Triple H to get in charge to do it, is the wrestlers, the underutilized wrestlers, he's sending them to NXT to work with the younger up and coming talent. You know, it's you have all these shows
like the New Day.
Yeah, why not use them to elevate some talent? Like, so I know it comes off, and part of this is a character that I play. I love to be combative. I love to get in arguments about certain things. I'm a professional wrestling fan.
The heel minister.
Yeah, no, I do not like all the 100 flips. I'll never like that. And you know, I'm gonna tell you something. You're probably not gonna believe this when I tell you. You know who I get a kick out of in AEW? Orange Cassidy.
Oh, he's awesome.
Just to tell you, awesome. Just to show you that I'm not this like, oh God, the mat is sacred type shit. I just find him so hilarious. But
I was watching him on YouTube before he got to AEW. It was funny then, and then when I saw him going to AEW, I'm like, oh my God, he's actually in there. I didn't think he was going to be able to make it to like a WWE or an AEW.
Now, he can't fight for my world title now.
I mean, he is kind of over with the fans.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. Hey, drop a link.
Means everything in wrestling.
Drop a link again. My cousin's in the chat.
All right.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything though, you know, because Zack Ryder was over with the fans. I mean, and when Zack Ryder became United States champion, it flamed out. All right, so y'all know this is Wrestling Wednesday. You know, when we came up with this show, we wanted to make it real big, so I thought about adding a MMA portion to it. So I watch MMA as a casual fan, but I know somebody who loves this shit, and they break it down like how me and Venkat break down wrestling. So something major happened in the world of MMA. I want to say this week. So I'm gonna back down and let my cousin take the floor over. So I don't know if you want to go, but your name is on there, so I guess everybody want to know. So this is my cousin Zay. Welcome to the arena.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Yo,
peace.
What's going on?
Francis Ngannou was released.
That's what they say. So basically, his contract was up. Usually, in the UFC, when you're one of the upper echelon fighters and you have one fight left on your deal, they try to hurry up and renew you before you fight out that last fight. But since he wasn't trying to renew his contract because he asking for things like his whole thing is, okay, you say that we're an independent contractor, but I can't go work for nobody else. He want to go box. He want health insurance. He want this. He want that. And the UFC is like, if we let you go do it, then we got to let everybody do it. And Conor already said
everybody should have that. Everybody should have that.
So I'm not saying I disagree, but so basically, I guess they offered him $8 million, and his whole thing is it's not about the money. I want these certain things. You get what I'm saying? So they have this clause in the contract where if you don't re-sign, then they have a year to match whatever offer anybody else brings to you. So you can go shop around and come back and say, yo, look, they offered me this. Do you want to match it? But what they usually try to do is just like how they try to set up Nate Diaz. If they know the chances of you re-signing are slim, then they finna match you up with somebody who they think gonna take you out because they don't want you, kind of like in wrestling, like you don't go out on top or always win. You get what I'm saying? But because it's not wrestling, you can't script it. So Ngannou fought that last fight and he won. And so now they negotiated, they say, for like 2 years, and they wasn't willing to bend or break. So then Dana comes out after the fights on Saturday and starts shitting on Ngannou, saying how like, yeah, he wanted this, he wanted that, he want to go somewhere else and make more money to fight lesser competition, and this, that, and the third. And then he started saying how, we don't know if it's his knee surgery. Maybe he didn't want to fight John Jones. He trying to pretty much tell everybody out there, like, if you get this product, it might be broken.
So hold on. So this is the same Francis Ngannou that was he or is he the UFC champion?
He was until they said he got released, but basically he didn't get released. His contract was up, so he's not anymore. Now, he's probably the first person to ever leave with the belt.
So they released their so Venkat, they basically pulled a Ric Flair in 1990, 1992.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So basically he could show up on Bellator with the UFC title then.
Well, there you go.
He probably could, but I'm pretty sure anybody who has ever been a champion, you have your own belts. Like, it's not just the one that you show up with. Like, every time you win, they used to give you a new belt because, like, Demetrius Johnson got like 12 of them. But like
Yeah,
every
that's
time
just
you
like wrestling. That's just like wrestling.
okay. So now they do this thing where every time you defend your belt, they add a ruby to it.
Oh,
Nice.
oh, that's nice there. I mean,
Yeah, that's a great concept.
yeah, that's a
great
nice concept,
Yeah.
man. So what? Like, what? Who do you think he's going to sign with?
I don't know. He said he got something up his sleeve. He really want to box Tyson Fury, but everybody know he'll get murdered. Like it's really no. So I don't know what he got planned. I know Bare Knuckle want to sign him. Everybody want to sign him pretty much. He'll be the biggest draw, like still in his prime coming out of the UFC.
Yeah, but
Besides Nate Diaz, but Diaz ain't in his prime no more.
if he fights Tyson Fury, that's an easy $50 million.
Right, and that's probably what he's looking at, like the bag. I don't know if y'all know his story, but like he's talked about it on Rogan in detail. What it took for him to actually get to America. This is deep. He like literally came from nothing, working digging ditches when he was like 13, 14 years old for like $1 and something a day.
Wow.
So
Hey, Black
either
John.
way, he already won in life.
Hey, let me ask you a question real quick, Black. So, and this tie into the subject. You got your own truck. You're an independent contractor, right?
Yeah.
Could you go get a load for somebody and then tell them I'm finna go get a load for another person?
I mean, they don't. That's a good question. They don't really pry like that. As long as you, so the guys that I work for, as long as you get your job done with them, then you good. You know what I'm saying? But they do have this thing where like they want you to work the whole day, and if you don't, some are like these Africans, if you don't work the whole day, they saying they don't have to pay you. That's only them damn Somalian.
Okay.
Yeah, them Somalian motherfuckers.
Okay.
You know.
Here's another question for you.
Okay.
You on 1099, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No taxes coming out of your payments, right?
Right.
Okay. Do you have health insurance?
I have to get my own. I have dental, but I don't have health, so I have dental right now.
Okay. I'm done.
Yeah,
So-
I see your point.
Yeah,
And my whole
man.
thing is, a lot of these fighters be complaining about what they get paid, but I look at it like you know what it is when you step into it. You feel me? So
Exactly.
it's like you be excited when you get signed by the UFC, but then it's like another fighter, Paulo Costa, when he got signed, they signed him like, okay, they pay out as like you get 70 to show, 70 to another 70 if you win. You feel me? So he was signed at 70 and 70 for 6 fights. But now he fought for the belt and he's a bigger draw, so he want to renegotiate. He on his last fight. And they had him scheduled a fight coming up, but he was like, nah, I'm not fighting this guy for this kind of money. Like I don't fought for the belt, I'm a bigger star, let's renegotiate.
As
Now
he
some
should
people
be.
they do it for. You're right. And some people they do it for. Other people they say, well, if we ain't gonna do it, disrespect the contract. This is what you signed. You get what I'm saying?
But the UFC is kind of disingenuous. I mean, I understand what you're saying, that they know what they're getting in the beginning, but they're so excited, they go for it. But a lot of these fighters are not coming from the greatest economical situation. So that's sort of a predatory type deal right there.
Right.
You know, let's get people in with these less than desirable contracts, but because their lives are so low that they'll go for it. That's what the whole economy in America is really about, keeping people low so that they could take less and then we could make more on top of their work. And this is the same lame ass story that goes on. It's in sports, it's in retail, it's in everywhere. So I mean, I'm for the fighters, I'm for the wrestlers, I'm for all those guys, man. They put their bodies on the line. People literally died in the ring, died on the field. You know, they should get what is deserving, and what the business brings in should be enough to where the bookers or the guys that put the matches together, they can get theirs, and the people that are fighting in these attractions should be able to get a well-paid day. There shouldn't be a problem. It's when the bookers take more, that's when it's a problem.
So somebody look up Francis Ngannou's what was his past contract? Does anybody know?
Yeah, Zay probably knows.
Nah, I don't really know. I don't really get into the logistics like that, but I do know that what he was offered, they said he was going to be the highest paid heavyweight in UFC history.
Even
I don't
higher
know
than
what his
Brock.
contract was previously. That's what they said.
Wow.
But I know once you hold a belt, every time you fight, you get a percentage of the pay-per-view as well.
Man,
Well, that's
listen.
good. That's good.
Man, listen. Yeah, you're putting your body on the line. You're taking a great risk when you step in the ring, on the field, wherever you may do in sport. But bro, you're a multi-millionaire doing it. I ain't got no sympathy for your struggle gains in terms of employment. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, but MD, what about like football players, which is they get exploited like hell. Sure, they get millions of dollars. Well, those millions of dollars don't really play out like NBA players. NBA players get more money.
It's guaranteed.
NBA players get more benefits. NFL players, their lifespan is like 3 years generally on average.
That's slowly changing. Like guaranteed contracts are going up and up every year in the NFL.
Yeah, so but it wasn't there. It wasn't there for those guys that clearly are suffering from CTE and other mental issues and injuries and all these problems.
Well,
it wasn't
20
there
years
for those.
Ago, wasn't nobody worried about that 20 years ago.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
So it's being evolved. Contracts are being evolved. Eventually, like football is always going to be king. Eventually, the way the players going now, football players will be the highest paid. You know what I mean?
It should have. My argument is it should have already been there. Football was a major attraction, has been a major attraction for decades now. So they've been making money hand over fist. You know who ain't worried about their next meal? The owners and all the upper people in the NFL. They've watched these players go through a lot of hell, and it's like, come on. The pie is right there. You shouldn't get everything, and I get the little crumbs on the floor. They're the attractions that put on the actual game. Without the players, there's no game to watch.
Yeah, you're right. But hey, like I said, man, bro, you're doing better than me. I ain't, you know what I'm saying?
I get that.
It is
but
what it is.
It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right on any level. You know, it's like you're giving an out to these owners that are just like, they run an NFL like a plantation. I'm not a fan of the NFL, man. Like, a lot of disgusting things happen. I'm not a fan of it.
Well, Venkat, go ahead, MD.
No, I was just saying you're right, but I'm not going to complain about it. That's just me.
So Venkat, look at our I promise we're gonna get to the year in review. And Zay still got one more story he got to break. But so let's look at it this way. Do you feel the same way about your employer?
Oh yeah, everybody's the same. It's the people that are up the top versus the peons that do the actual work. And there's a great divide. In this country, there's a huge income inequality. And it wasn't there by accident. It was there by design.
So
we got to really objectively look at it. See, some people are doing better than others. And with that situation, that's a Nazi soldier mentality, right? Well, I got treated good. I'm not being subjugated to the indifference, so I look the other way. And I'm just saying, a problem somewhere else may not be a problem at the moment, but it will eventually become your problem. And once you realize it, it'll be too late. These injustices that are everywhere, you can't just look at it and be like, well, that's not me. I'm not a woman. I'm not black. I'm not this. I'm not that. Eventually, it will come your way. But that shouldn't have been the reason to act. You should have already been there.
So two things. Thinking Black in the chat. I don't know who that is. I think I know who it is. But you're welcome to join the panel because he says the music industry, and I mean
100%.
Yeah, we
100%.
We could go on a whole 10 hours about the music industry.
Right,
but
that's the thing. The constant is always the people at the top that don't actually have the skill, the art, or the intellect to do the craft. They only hold the keys to the venue that they perform in. And it's just a big divide that needs to be shrunk.
So let me play devil's advocate.
Okay.
What if I told you go start your own promotion then? Go start your own record label. If you can't
Well, we're
abide,
literally doing that right now because with streaming and this technology we have right now, a lot of rappers have been doing that, and they've been doing that for quite some few years now. And record companies are feeling it because the music industry is not doing nowhere near where the 90s and the 80s was. So again, they could have avoided all this had they paid their artists fairly and continued a goodwill thing to university. You both can make good money, but the idea is just like GM. We're making record profits in the 80s, but guess what? If we fire everybody, close down the plant, and move it to overseas, we can make even more money. Why? You're in the community, you're in America, do your part, but it's never enough. So then we have these situations. So I just think somebody got to put them in check. You can't have rampant big business just unchecked. That's just crazy.
It's a lot of greed. It's a lot of greed going on, and I was just saying it's a lot of greed when it comes to stuff like that. But to me, my whole biggest problem with the way it was handled was that okay, if y'all tried to negotiate and y'all couldn't come to an agreement, you can leave it at that. As a promoter, like who was just like a year or two ago saying, "Oh, John, like once Francis knocked out Stipe, he was saying, "Oh, John Jones don't want to fight this guy because him and John Jones is on bad terms." Now, once Ngannou's leaving, it's like the way he's shitting on him is like, I feel like that wasn't necessary. Just say, yeah, we couldn't come to an agreement. Hopefully, he found what he's looking for, and I wish him good luck in the future, whatever. Like
You talking about Dana White? You talking about Dana White?
He ain't have to try to kick dirt on his name on the way out. You get what I'm saying? That's what I didn't like.
Well, he's petty, just like Vince McMahon is. That's a Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
That's a Vince McMahonism right there.
Always
super
find a way
petty, super ego driven. This is literally another Vince McMahon.
Man. So all right.
You notice how everything ties in together.
I love Dana though. Like I feel like no other sport really, even just in combat sports alone, put the best against the best. You feel me? That's why you see boxers with these unbelievable records, like 32-0 and 32-1 and shit like that. When you look at MMA fighter, he might be 17-6, but he fighting people that can beat him on any given night.
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah, that's very true.
So what do you feel? Because you said you love Dana White. Just like on this show, I'm the Vince McMahon apologist, even though not so much lately. But what do you feel about him slapping the shit out of his wife?
Don't hit me, I won't hit you.
Oh my God!
Don't get it wrong. I don't agree with hitting the female, but at the same time, that female knew he was a male when she slapped him, right? Like,
but that's his wife though,
right? So that's her husband. What's she slapping him for? Has your wife?
Maybe he did something stupid.
No, my wife.
Maybe he did something stupid.
No, my wife. Don't
you
put
play
her
stupid games, you get stupid prizes. Like they both did something stupid. They both I'm not for hitting women, but I'm just saying like nobody knows what they're gonna do in a situation until they're in it. You know
all right, this guy's getting censored right now. He's gonna get censored.
All right, so you said his name. You said his name at least 6 times. So let's go with the next story. I found out also that my boy is coming back.
Who?
Yes, he is.
The greatest fighter ever.
Jones.
So how did that happen? How did that happen?
Well, all right. So originally, John Jones was supposed to come back like last year. They were trying to get him to fight Francis. Francis had to have the knee surgery, and they were trying to work out the whole contract. So then they were like, all right, he's going to fight Stipe. But Stipe, I don't know what's going on with him. You know, he fight once a year anyway. And so they just kept moving down the line. And John moving up to heavyweight, he took a good couple years to try to get where he said he was comfortable to fight at heavyweight. Then he had that whole thing where he hit his wife. I know you heard about that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame, they just inducted his fight with Alexander Gustafsson in the Hall of Fame. And that same night when he was in Vegas, he came to the hotel, told his wife, hey, I'm going to go took a whole bunch of money, a couple G's, say he finna go gamble. Then when he came back, they got into an altercation. His wife and his kid went to the front desk, asked for security. She had a bloody lip. John Jones ended up getting arrested. And he tried to fight the cops, and he was headbutting the vehicle. He was obviously intoxicated. And so I think that delayed everything for a little bit. But it's kind of funny because when that happened with John Jones, and even the Greg Hardy situation, Dana White was the main one saying, when you hit a female, you can't come back from that. You feel me? And now look what he did.
Wow.
So John Jones, who's this guy John Jones is going to fight?
Cyril Gane. That was the last person to fight Francis. And he beat Francis the first 2 rounds, but then Francis came back and took him down and pretty much hugged on him. But Francis had a torn ACL. He's like a heavyweight that moved like a middleweight. He's a good striker, but I feel like he's a one-trick pony too.
Francis or the other guy?
Cyril Gane. All he got is striking.
So let me ask you, because John Jones is moving to heavyweight. John Jones has always fought at 205. What is going to be his fighting weight? He can't be that much bigger.
Have you seen pictures of him?
No, I haven't seen him lately. I didn't know. I thought he was done.
He coming in at like 250.
Oh,
but the heavyweight limit is 265.
Yeah, but I want to see what a 250-pound John Jones looks like versus the 205.
He looks like a beast.
Yeah, but can he move with those ridiculous strikes and shit like that he's always done?
And those questions is what's going to sell the fight.
Okay, yeah. And when is that?
March 4th.
Oh, okay.
What's up? You in the building?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a John Jones fight, you know. Shit, it's a John Jones fight. You know I'll be there. Yeah, man. But we I mean you welcome to stay on, because I know you the UFC guy. So, you know, you and Bones. I thought Bones was gonna be able to make it because we about to get in some year-end review. So I mean you welcome, man. But whenever you got any UFC news or you just want to hop on, you know, I always shoot you guys the link before we come on. So, and I'm thinking, who is Thinking Black? That's my brother-in-law, huh?
Hey, I want to say one more thing about a question you asked me the other day.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why the UFC can't keep a heavyweight champion? The reason why, I feel like Stipe Miocic defended the title 3 times. That's the record in UFC history. And I think it goes back to, yep, as far as heavyweight, and I feel like it goes back to when you're in the UFC, those are the best fighters in the world. When you're in the top 5, you're not the top 5. You're the top 5 of the best fighters in the world. So when you at heavyweight, 265, between 206 and 265, and you going at it with somebody else who's also one of the best fighters in the world, all it takes is one, no matter how much skill you got.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like the fact that they fighting the best against the best, it's like, nope, you're not going to have a reign that's like 400 days like WWE or anything like that, because you can't script that. You feel me? It's unscripted violence.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the day a guy actually does that would be phenomenal.
So
I said the day a guy actually does that, let's say he wins 10 matches in a row or more,
I mean,
that would be phenomenal.
It happens, like John Jones, but not in the heavyweight class. I mean, you got a lightweight, like Anderson Silva did it. He had like 13. John Jones had like 13. But when you go to heavyweight, I feel like it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. All right. Well, you got any more or what? We gonna get
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you coming on, man.
Stay on.
Because we're about to argue now. We like to get this you know, we trying to get the arena built up, man. Blackson, I told you I'm gonna just keep bringing you talent after talent after talent. I'm telling you, man. Yeah. So let's get on it, Venkat. Go ahead and Rip it off.
Oh, so 2022 is a very unique year in wrestling. Probably the most unpredictable, craziest, where the most unexpected things happen all year long. From the beginning of the year, Roman Reigns getting COVID, set to defend the title in the pay-per-view day one, and he couldn't do it. To AEW hitting heights and lows that were just ridiculous. But it's not going to go in any kind of order, but I'll just say like one of the things, let's just start off with something like Undertaker's Hall of Fame induction. What are the general thoughts on his career and his induction?
Oh, come on. You got to know. Undertaker is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And to see him finally pack it up, I had a sigh of relief that he was able to walk away and not be Ric Flair, because I thought he was heading into Ric Flair territory where he was just never going to give it up, and Vince could offer him another $1 million and he'll come back and he'll keep coming back. And every time you see him, he's just looking more and more slower and decrepit. So his Hall of Fame induction to me was just like a big sigh of relief. Like,
did you think he was going to get hurt or that he would do something embarrassing to himself?
Yeah. Well, his match against Goldberg, he almost died. You remember Goldberg dropped him on his head. He almost died.
Good God.
And go figure where that was. That was in Saudi Arabia, because the Saudis wanted Goldberg and Undertaker. I mean, that was ridiculous, man. So I really thought he was going to suffer an injury, just because, let's face it, he's 6'10", over 300 pounds, and in the words of Kevin Nash, guys like that don't live long.
Right.
So I just thought I thought it was going to end bad, man, and I'm glad. I'm hoping my number one wrestler will take suit and just pack it up before it's too late.
I mean, Undertaker is amazing. That debut in Survivor Series 1990, I watched that live on pay-per-view. He was an instant presence from day one. And there are times where his career is kind of like, but he stayed with it. And he achieved something nobody else. First of all, he has one of the greatest introductions, if not the greatest, with the music, with the lights, with the wardrobe. It's just, it makes chills to people. Even in the day, I can remember, Undertaker's not all that, but then you had to respect that hustle. You couldn't look at that. Like, I wasn't a Kobe Bryant fan for the longest, but over that time period, you just had to acknowledge and respect what the man was doing. Undertaker, he did his thing, man. He beat everybody that was in front of him. He won multiple championships. He delivered on top-notch matches, and he was a part of great angles. And so he'll be one of the best. He has the tenure. He has the work behind him. Just awesome. Mark Calloway, just great.
And unlike Hulk Hogan, he made people better being in the ring with him.
Right, and people actually have respect for him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. So another reason why, another just great guy from start to finish. He was not a phony. He was not stabbing guys in the locker room. He was a leader, and he represented the ring the way it should be.
To me, I say Undertaker was the greatest ever. You feel me? I feel like Mick Foley said it best. When Undertaker tell you to go home, you go home. Like, he had the locker room respect. He had the presence, like you said, the angles, the character, and I feel like that's one thing that, like, kind of wrestling don't got characters like that no more. You get what I'm saying? The Fiend was kind of like there, but they don't know what they want to do with that character. So,
right.
I don't know. Yeah. I just feel like Undertaker was like Hall of Famer, legendary. Like, the name speaks for itself.
Yeah, that's fact. Yeah, I'll say, like, I'm with Van Cat on this one. Like, I wasn't a huge Undertaker fan per se, but you gotta respect his tenure in WWE. You know what I mean? Like he got the track record. That alone
puts him on, top echelon when it comes to the greats within WWE. You know what I mean? All the accomplishments, the streak. You got to take all that into consideration.
Yeah, I'm at the concur. He definitely has the endurance. Not really, like I said, I wasn't a WWE fan either, but I know he went through some eras. He went through the badass, he went through the dead man, he went through all that, and then you talking about, like I said, the attitude era. He went through so many eras, so you gotta respect the damn endurance, definitely.
Right. So we go from one legend to another. Ric Flair in 2022 of July, he had his last match. This was publicized, even though he had a last match at a WrestleMania against Shawn Michaels. That was a great match and a great way to leave. Ric Flair had to pay that mortgage, and he did a last match. What do we think of Ric Flair's last match?
Embarrassing. That's all I got, and I'm glad he didn't die in the ring. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'll say I saw highlights of it. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Shots out to Andrade and Jay Lethal. For
oh yeah,
like helping it out. But in all reality, to me, I think it was one big grill. I think they were just like, okay, let's get this money. It's WrestleMania weekend. Let's get this bread. And he saw the opportunity and he did it.
Yeah, it was a successful attendance wise and buy wise. They did make money. It was successful. Unfortunately, the match was not. And it was just like Trevor said. I'm gonna echo what Trevor said. It was embarrassing. Ric Flair took a suplex. I don't know why he needed to take this suplex. He took a suplex in the match. When he got down, boom, he never got up for about good 20 minutes.
Wasn't he
was
knocked
on the
out?
apron. Huh?
Didn't he get knocked out in that match?
Yep, he was knocked out. And after the match was over and he had interviews a week or so later, he did say he doesn't know what happened. Like, he doesn't remember the match from that point on. And it showed because he was on the apron like nobody's business. He was just out. And it was weird to see that because he was doing things in the match that you don't need to do. In that match, all you had to do was do some like greatest hit stuff that you want to see a chop here, maybe a leg move or a figure four. You don't need to do anything extreme, especially he's 70-something years old with a pacemaker. And for whatever reason, he has to bleed. He has to take these hard hits, and that was his undoing. There was a video online where he was training with Jay Lethal like 2 months prior. He looked good. He looked like he could go. In this match, not so much. It was bad. It was really bad and scary. You could see him dying. And there was one moment in the match where it was outside the ring, and he went, oh my God, oh my God. And the wrestler stopped attacking him, and then he thumbed him in the eye. So he was faking it. But the crowd, you could see the people in the front. They were like, oh my God, he's going to have a heart attack right now. That should have never been there. That was prostitution at its finest right there. Ric Flair doesn't need to pimp himself out. It was unnecessary. It was unnecessary, and it was bad. It was bad.
I tell you this. I think, like I said, the guy Conrad, his son, like he's the biggest grifter of them all.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised as to think that he was the main reason that Flair did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he was in his ear. I'm sure.
Yeah, because Conrad has podcasts with every friggin' wrestler in the world, and
how does he have the time? How does he have the time?
And to run that mortgage business that's very, very successful. I mean,
yes. Yeah. Well, so since we've been talking about legends being affected in 2022, let's continue with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold made a return to professional wrestling, which I never thought would happen. After 19 years, his last match was at WrestleMania 19. And 19 years later, he comes back and he's actually in the ring. Never thought I would see that. What do we think about Stone Cold's return?
Man, listen, I was if you could imagine the surprise on my face when I heard that they were doing a KO show, because you had to look at the whole build up to that first. Kevin Owens was trying everything he could do to get a WrestleMania match. And the last chance was him and Seth Rollins were in a match to try to get a tag team championship match. They lost that. So in theory, they were out of matches. I'm not going to say what happened to Seth Rollins because I'm pretty sure that's coming up. But so Kevin Owens was like, well, since I'm not going to have a match, let me do the next best thing. Let's have the KO show. And week after week, he would call out Stone Cold. And then when Stone Cold did that promo and said that he was going to be there, I literally thought it was just going to be a promo segment in the middle of the ring, and Stone Cold was probably going to hit him with a stunner. But when I saw that they were going to have a no holds barred, I was like, holy shit. And the fact that after 19 years, Stone Cold put on one of the best performances I saw all WrestleMania, man, that's reasons like that is why after 30 plus years, 37 years, I cannot stop watching this shit. As many times as I try, I'm going to be like, I'm not watching wrestling no more. I'm done with it. They'll always do something to pull me in. And that was one of them, because I didn't watch WWE for the first two or 3 months of the year because it was just, it was becoming unwatchable. But then when the whole WrestleMania hype and the Royal Rumble was terrible, which is my favorite pay-per-view. Yes. So I was just like,
Shane McMahon got fired because
of that. I was like, man, fuck this company. I'm done. I'm not watching it anymore. But they drew me back in with the whole Stone Cold thing. And man, it was tremendous. It was tremendous. It was fantastic.
Yeah, Stone Cold, I mean, he didn't do a flare. He didn't flare it up. So that is something to be happy about. We won't mention the whole issue with McMahon and that horrible stunner.
Oh yeah,
not because of Stone Cold. It was McMahon. McMahon looked horrible.
Yeah,
like Vince, he looked like a corpse.
Vince has never took a stunner good though.
No, but that was legendarily bad. Yeah. I mean, I was just laughing about it the other day. I was watching it again. It was
Stone Cold was laughing about it in the ring. He couldn't do nothing but laugh, man, because it looked so stupid.
And then his arms were just dangling
after he did it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, his arms were dangling. I mean, what the hell was McMahon even doing out there? He should not have been out there.
Because he can't give it up.
Oh boy. I guess not. What do you think of Stone Cold's return, Blackson?
Now I didn't see the match, but I'm gonna take y'all word for it if you say it was as good as because of his leg injury, man. He hadn't been the same. But like I said, when you guys said he wrestled, that is a shock to me, man. Because like I said, he based on because I've had my ACL go out, so I know how he's got both of them out. Is that?
But he's been out because of his neck. He's had terrible neck issues.
Okay.
Yeah, but neck and knee issues. Yeah. I mean, his legs. He has those two supports. I mean, it's really bad.
Yeah,
every time I see him walk, I just think, oh my God, that must be painful.
Yeah. Because I've had that same type of brace he's had, and that shit is not. Man, it's a pain getting it on and the pain getting it off, especially when your knee starts swelling up. So, my hats off to him, man. But
and I never thought he would ever return. I think back to Owen Hart dropping him on his head with that pile driver. All these other injuries he's had. It's just, like I couldn't see a way, and the way he talked about that last match against The Rock at WrestleMania 19, how he just wanted to just get it over with and be done and never look back. I never thought he would come back. So it was shocking to me when I saw him in that ring.
And they're talking about him possibly being in the Rumble this year.
Right, and he's been training, and he looks good.
Yeah.
Unlike Vince McMahon and Flair, Stone Cold don't look like that.
I don't watch too much wrestling no more, but I pop in for the pay-per-views every now and then, and sometimes I'll check out an AEW Dynamite. But I did catch that match with him and Kevin Owens, and I was impressed. I was really impressed. He looked like he still got it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was kind of nervous for him when he took that bump on the outside of the ring.
Yeah.
Man. All right, so continuing with the year 2022, a lot of crazy, unexpected things happened all year long. What do we think about Cody Rhodes leaving AEW, a company he helped to bring along to go up against WWE, and him returning to WWE, considering people making comments? That guy from the New Age Outlaws said that he never saw anything special in Cody Rhodes when he was in WWE. Those, I think, 7 years that he was there. He said he never saw anything special in him. Cody Rhodes then left, went on the independent circuit, then helped founded AEW, helped bring the company along. He had great matches in AEW, and he's one of the best or better performers in wrestling, of all of wrestling. I feel like I think he delivers. So what do we think about Cody Rhodes leaving AEW, which I would never thought that would happen, at least not right now, and going back to WWE of all places?
So I'm gonna.
I'll say this.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, because I got a lot to say about this.
I'm gonna keep it short. I just feel like Cody is very underrated and underappreciated, but I'm still not sure why he did that. Like, what was the whole? Do y'all know what the whole reason behind that was? Because that shocked me.
Yeah,
it's almost like he sold out. Like he.
I'll say my reason when it's my turn. What I believe the reason is.
Go ahead, MD.
No. So I remember when All In, like, you know, I was big on Cody. You know what I mean? Like I liked him. You know what I mean? When he started the whole indie scene, like he took over the indie scene when he left WWE. He took it over in New Japan, in ROH. Like he was the man, and he saw an opportunity, right? For me personally, I wish he didn't get, or I like I said, I don't know the backstory. I don't know the ins and outs of the conversation. With me, I wish he didn't get the Bucks involved. How they became involved, I don't necessarily know.
Good point.
I wish he didn't. You know what I mean? But it was a situation where, like, Bullet Club was big at the time, and you know, he wanted to try to incorporate that within All In, and somehow Tony Khan got in there. I guess that was the money play. And now we see the product today, which it ain't my cup of tea, but I ain't saying it's good or bad. You know, I'm indifferent to it. Well, one of the matches I will say that I liked when AEW started was him and Dustin.
Yeah,
that match was fire.
Yeah. That was a bloodbath.
Cody is when it comes to big time wrestling, he's got it. You know what I mean? And he understands the concept of what a big match is. I don't think them other guys in AEW understand that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it could have been a conflict there. Then, of course, with the other topic that I'm pretty sure you'll talk about when it comes to the media scrum and all that, a conspiracy theorist could say maybe there is something there. Well, why did Cody leave? You know what I mean? So it's a lot of angles you can go with it. But to me, I think he should have left all those other guys out of it from the onset, and maybe we wouldn't be in the position that we're in right now with the current product. So that's just me.
You got something, Blackson, or?
Yeah, I want to, and almost similar to what MD's saying, You know, I was shocked when he left too, but I was like, damn, you know, it made me really think like what on the business side, like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and for a person to have a project and then set it up and then go back, that means to me that this is what I got. That's my interpretation, is that WWE was treating him better, and then I guess he must have realized these you know, these new people, it wasn't. I don't know, man. It just I think it was some bad business at the end of the day.
Hey,
That's
quick
why he
quick
left.
question, Trevor, or Van Cat, whoever can answer the question. Didn't the Young Bucks start PWG with what's the guy's name? Damn,
Kenny
what's his
Omega?
name?
Kenny Omega?
No, not Kenny Omega. No. Damn, what's the guy's name, man?
See, I don't know anything about
Joey Ryan.
I don't know anything about PWG, so I won't even try to make it up.
I you know, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Bucks started PWG with Joey Ryan. Like that was their promotion before they sold it. I could be wrong. But you know, like if anybody's ever seen PWG, you know what that is. You know, like that shit is crazy, but it is what it is.
So I look at this two ways. And this goes to show this is why I am the way that I am when it comes to WWE. WWE will forever be the biggest wrestling promotion in the world. And everybody may shit on it and they may do whatever they want, but everybody always comes back home. So now the question is, why would Cody leave and then go start another promotion, then leave that promotion only to come back? Cody's run in WWE was not good. The fact that we didn't get Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton at a WrestleMania main event is something that is not right with the world. The legacy sells that. But here's the thing. Cody Rhodes coming back to WWE fulfills two promises. Cody Rhodes wanted to leave the wrestling industry better because of the legacy of his father. And he did that by starting AEW. In premise, AEW was supposed to be the alternative to WWF. They were never meant to be WWE light, which is what Dusty Rhodes always wanted to do. He always wanted to just give you an alternative to WWF. He always wanted to do that. It wasn't that he was sitting there, I'm going to put him out of business and this and that. Cody Rhodes is too professional for AEW. And
hold on, because Cody Rhodes is also the same guy that put a sledgehammer
to the
throne.
Yeah, that's sportsman. I mean, that's character driven. I was getting there. That's everybody does that. That's just like Triple H telling at the Hall of Fame, telling Billy Gunn that Vince McMahon was going to buy the Pissant Company. It's all showmanship. Cody Rhodes brought an era of professionalism to AEW that their owner sure as shit doesn't have. Because
he needs to stay off Twitter.
Tony Khan is a frigging kid that has a bunch of toys and he lets them do whatever they want. That shit and I don't want to say it because I know it's going to come up, but that shit that you know who pulled at the media scrum would have never happened under Cody Rhodes, with Cody Rhodes in charge. And now the main reason why Cody Rhodes left AEW, and you guys aren't going to believe me, but the shit matters. His dad was never WWF champion. And that shit means everything in the world to him. Cody wants that belt. Cody wants to pin Roman Reigns shoulder to the mat and get that belt and raise it for his dad. And then his career will completely, he will look at it as a debt being paid. And that's how I feel about Cody, because Dustin was never going to do it. But Cody is Cody with the suits and the promo delivery. Man, Cody Rhodes is a professional wrestler. Cody Rhodes is like Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis to me will never be a big name in WWF, but Nick Aldis reminds me of Nick Bockwinkel. Those are the guys that I want as my champions. Like you dress the part, you carry the belt like it's the most prestigious damn thing in the world. And that's Cody
100.
Rhodes. That's
100.
Cody Rhodes to me. That's why I love Ric Flair so much, because Ric Flair treated that belt like it was the most important damn thing in the world.
You mean he wasn't spinning it?
No, I hate how John Cena wears the belt around his neck or throws it over his shoulder.
The Cracker Jacks belt.
Yeah, you don't. If we know wrestling, that wrestling is scripted, but it's still people get hurt, people get damaged for the rest of their lives. Carry the top prize like it means a damn, and then people will look at it and be like, "Damn, that guy is a wrestler, man." And that's what I think, man. Cody Rhodes came back because he wants to fulfill a promise to his dad, and he wants to become WWF champion. And that's the bottom line.
I think what you're saying is dead on. I think Cody Rhodes' race to get that title is probably the most compelling story in all of wrestling.
Absolutely.
Because he has this cult-like following because of that indie thing, because of AEW, because of being in WWE earlier on and being told that I don't really see what's so special about him. Like, come on. You said, okay, his first run wasn't great, but he was pretty good. He had good matches. He was there. He was just doing what he's supposed to do, which is come up. And I think everybody wants Michael Jordan right now. Nobody wants to just go through the growth to get to that point. And he was doing that. And, I think that's the most compelling single story in all of wrestling. And with another subject in the 2022 review, we're talking about Cody Rhodes' Hell in a Cell match against Seth Rollins.
Oh, gosh.
And that adds to the mystique of Cody Rhodes, which he's building up this legendary career. And when his career is over, if he can just keep going and have some strong moments, that is going to be a major building block in this great career that he's building here. What do you think about Cody Rhodes, Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins?
So they've been running promos leading up to the Royal Rumble, and then on Monday Cody announced that he's coming back to the Rumble. But what I love that they do in the promo, they would always shoot away from his pec. But this Monday when they did the video, they showed the injury, which I'm gonna tell you like this. When I saw that, I was upset that the WWE would allow him to wrestle with that type of injury. But then I had to think, I'm like, well, he wouldn't put himself in any more damage. So it was probably one of those things where the doctors were like, if you could just deal with the pain, it won't get any worse. So what they do now on the promo, they'll show the video of the injury, but now that they show him, he takes his shirt off and you see the scar. And now the injury's all healed up. And I'm like, holy shit, I want this guy. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, Vince McMahon is going to find some way to fuck this up, man. I just got a feeling, man. They're gonna wedge The Rock in this some type of way. And I know The Rock is the much bigger star, but I care about the story, man, of Cody finally getting that belt that his dad never got, man. That injury was gruesome, but the match was fantastic. But it was one of those things that I had to watch, like, man, should I be getting so much enjoyment out of this? That was my thing watching it.
But the injury helps to sell the match. The injury helps to sell the story. That shows this is a real injury. This isn't, oh my God, let me put some tape here to signify that I'm hurt. This is like legit injury here. And now anybody that's not a wrestling fan could look at that, a female, a little kid, an older person, anybody outside of the normal wrestling viewership, they could look at that moment, look at that match, that story, and they could get invested in it because it's something that you can understand no matter what language you speak. And it's just, this is a thing that sells itself. So this is like a gift that's just been given to WWE because they wouldn't even have this. He was in AEW. And like, this is like WCW getting Bret Hart after the screw job. So it's what they do with it now. Are they
Yeah,
going to screw that up, or are they going to run with it?
Before or after he killed WCW? But
Bret Hart did not kill WCW.
Look at it this way though. When Cody took his jacket off, my daughter bust out crying, and she would not. She refused to watch the match, and my daughter loves wrestling.
But see, that's awesome. That's what we want. We want people to have those visceral reactions to this. That's exactly what you want. I mean, I just think the guy's amazing. I mean, to wrestle under those conditions, I think that they probably told him, man, I don't think you should do this. And then he insists. And I think he said, nope, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to stop. I just got here. I got an injury. I feel I can go. I'm going to go. I think that's what happened. And then he did the match. And then he just said, okay, let me leave and let me get, fixed up so I could come back in the next year even stronger and chase that title, like you're saying. I think it just makes him look real big, man. I think there's a lot of upside to Cody in the future here. So to keep the conversation going, the next topic we should talk about is the bloodline storyline. Roman Reigns, his little reign as champion, and the dominance overall that Roman Reigns and the bloodline has had on the industry. What do we think of the bloodline and Roman Reigns?
All right, who want to go? Who want to go first? Yeah, I was gonna say, who want to go first? Because I'm gonna gush all over this.
Yeah, it's the best thing on TV, man. The stuff that I've seen with it, like, yeah, man, like that. Now that's something I can rock with. You know what I mean? Like the bloodline stuff, it's good. And Sami Zayn just is like it's the top, and and I ain't really never been a Sami Zayn fan. Like it ain't my his style never been like my cup of tea. But the stuff that he's doing now from the comedic stuff to how they're going with the angle, like it's good, man. It's real good. And I want to see what the climax is. That goes back to the other point. When it comes to Cody, a lot of people say, they want to see Cody now this year when in WrestleMania. To me, I think it's too soon. Like, let him sizzle. With the injury, that even backs it up even more. I think you gotta culminate some. Well, this year, how I'm looking at it, I'm looking at more say the Usos and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn reuniting. That may be the spark, but eventually, I think later on in the year, you got to do something solo between Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn.
Well, when you say reunite, what do you mean? They're gonna go against each other.
Reunite Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Like
Okay. Yeah. I think that's where they're going.
To take the tag team title.
What if Sami Zayn beats Roman Reigns? And then
to me, that ain't realistic.
Never happened.
Yeah, it ain't realistic.
What if that happens and then it goes into a Cody versus Sami Zayn?
No, that's terrible.
Man, Cody need a hardcore.
Yeah.
In order for Cody to work, you got to have a heel that's real, like a real heel. Exactly. The only real heel right now is Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? As far as like a champion. So from that aspect, I get it. But like I said, we don't think
those two could put on a good match.
It's not about the match.
No, it's not about the match. It's about the probability of it all.
Okay.
Or do I think it's plausible that Sami Zayn could beat Roman Reigns? And I don't. You know what I mean?
Hey, that would be a hell of a story too. That would be a hell of a story there too, because everybody pretty much sees Sami Zayn's side of this. He's pretty much been bullied, pushed around, and he's trying to gain the acceptance, and it's always hot and cold. So do we keep staying, like a servant to these guys? And I think people will go crazy the day he snaps and stands up for himself and then take it to Roman Reigns. I don't know if he would beat him either, but that would be a hell of a story.
the way I see this going, I mean, because let's face it, the Bloodline story has been carrying TV forever, and it is the best thing on WWE TV. I haven't watched the other show, so I don't know what they got going on, but I'm almost certain that it's better than anything going on anywhere else. The Sami Zayn thing was an unfortunate accident that has turned into gold because it was supposed to be a one-off. Vince was going to end it after Roman Reigns beat Sami Zayn in like a minute on a random SmackDown. But everybody started talking about the chemistry that Roman and Sami had on the camera, and it produced some of the best segments in wrestling, like from Jey Uso not trusting in him to him jumping and taking the bullet for Jey Uso in Hell in a Cell, which caused Jey Uso. Yeah, War Games. Yeah, which caused Jey Uso to realize that, hey, this guy's on my thing. But to the best segment that I seen on TV all year was when Roman Reigns told Sami to take that shirt off and told him that he's never going to wear that old Bloodline shirt again. And he gave him the honorary Uso shirt. The way that crowd reacted to that and the way Sami looked, because Sami, see, here's the thing. Sami Zayn has comedic timing, but Sami Zayn also is a sympathetic babyface. What is going to happen? And this is where I advocate for blood. They are going to have to beat the living shit out of him. And it's coming because you can see every time Roman hugs him, he will give that smirk in the camera. And you know it's coming, man. They are going to beat the holy hell out of Sami, or they're going to beat the holy hell out of KO, and which is going to cause Sami to help his friend. I would rather them beat Sami Zayn up just because it would be better for the story. But I think the way this is going to go down is Elimination Chamber is before WrestleMania. Guess where Elimination Chamber is this year? In Canada. So what would be better than to have Sami Zayn get that one hope spot where you think he comes between like 2.999 seconds of pinning Roman Reigns, only for Roman Reigns to get so pissed off and say, you tried to pin me, and just beat the living hell out of him. And yeah, I mean, as much as I'd love a Sami Roman match, yeah, it could come. But the story of Cody and Roman, because Roman hasn't lost a match in 3 years. Roman hasn't lost he hasn't been pinned since 2020, of December 2020.
Hey, what about this, Trevor? What about this, Trevor? What if it comes down to, if they put Sami in the match, what if it comes down to him and Roman?
That's when they're going to give him that.
And he has to face a choice.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would be epic. That would be, I don't know if you ever watched
Roman to tell him to lay down, and then the crowd like, what are you gonna do?
I don't know if you ever watched this, but I can't remember the year, but you can find it on YouTube. Look up Daniel Bryan versus Santino in the Elimination Chamber. The same thing happened. They were building Santino Marella up as this
he's awesome.
as this underdog Rocky character. And the last two ended up being world champion Daniel Bryan against Santino. And Santino hit Daniel Bryan with the Cobra. And when I tell you that damn crowd lost their shit because they thought they were going to see a title change, but Santino celebrated. He went to pin Daniel Bryan late. Daniel Bryan kicked out and then ended up beating the shit out of Santino. I think that's the same thing that's going to happen. It's tried and true in wrestling. You give that underdog babyface that hope spot, he fails, and then you beat the shit out of him. Like, I mean, the bloodline has to come in there, and they got to beat him up so bad that we don't see him at least for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I can see a point where like Roman is down, like as far as odds, and Sami's is he's in the chamber helping him, and it comes down to a point where it's just him and Sami, and then Roman's like, okay, cool, now we got it. All right, go ahead and lay down so we can get out of here. And Sami's like, no, I ain't laying down. I can see that. That'll be tight.
Venkat, you know what it reminds me of? You remember in I want to say it was 1990, Clash of the Champions, when Sting was part of the Horsemen.
Oh yeah.
And Ole Anderson said, "What we never thought was going to happen is that you joined us." He said, "But I'm giving you till the end of this show to talk to Jim Herd, talk to whoever you can to get out of that match, or else we're going to beat you within an inch of your life." And
if we ever see you again, you won't be so lucky.
And that's what they had to do to him. They are gonna have to sting him. They are gonna have to beat the piss out of him.
Oh man, that was one of the best angles ever, man. That night, I remember watching that Clash of the Champions live. That was huge. If Sami Zayn's storyline goes like that, oh my goodness.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Because everybody, that Sting got everybody on his side. They were already on his side, but then after that happened, and Flair, oh my God, Flair got so much heat off of that. My goodness, the way Ole talked to him, that was like
writes
real.
Itself. Wrestling
it was so real.
Great.
Yeah, that was great. And Santino's one of my favorites. I don't care, man. That guy's funny as hell.
Yeah, wrestling is scripted drama, but then you add the wrestling to it. That just makes it so much better. It's great if done right. If done right.
Speaking of Santino, I saw something on Twitter the other day. I guess he's like the new general manager on Impact.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that a few days ago. Yeah, it was funny.
I saw it on Twitter. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I know his daughter. I think his daughter is in NXT.
Oh, yeah. So the next topic, we can go into Triple H's heart health issue that forced him to retire, and then ultimately becoming head of creative. And then, of course, that leads to Vince McMahon, sexual allegations, and then where we're at today now with the whole him returning and the buyout of WWE. So this whole thing gets lumped into one, really.
Well, I think we beat. Damn, my throat's starting to get dry. I think we beat Vince McMahon into the ground. But what I will say about the Triple H, you guys know Triple H is, you know how I feel about Triple H. I think Vince McMahon was really shitty that when, you know, everything happened, they basically forced the guy out as he was recovering. You know what I mean? He had to watch the brand that he built in NXT just be torn down, and, you know, all his top lieutenants getting fired and everything like that. And I just think it was a real shitty deal. And then for Vince, you know, for Triple H finally to get the book that he rightfully deserved all these years, only for, in the back of my mind, I feel like Vince is going to pull a power play and just be like, you know what, I want to run creative again. It's a nightmare. I ain't got nothing good to say about it. It's all a nightmare.
Yeah, I think that WWE, they started the year. It was pretty tough for them. AEW was all on all cylinders at that point, but when Triple H took reins, especially after, you know, his whole heart issue and him coming back and saying, I'm retired from wrestling. It's just, you know that the guy's older. You know, these guys get older and they gotta retire at some point. But when you hear it, and then you to know it was because of such a serious heart issue, it just felt like, wow, that was so final. Now you start thinking back all the matches that he had, and there'll never be any going forward. And this is unlike Stone Cold coming back. We probably never see Triple H ever again. I mean, that's pretty much done. The way he said it, he's not messing with his life in the situation he has. And then he gets to become the head of creative, and he's doing his thing. And to me, personally, I'm not a Triple H fan, but I don't particularly hate Triple H. I really think he's done a good job. I watched the Clash at the Castle. I thought the show was really good. I thought everything he touched pretty much came out great. I mean, it's early. It's an early sample size, and then Vince McMahon just came in and just rained on that parade. And you're always gonna have that thought in your head, like, what if? What if Triple H would have got just at least a full year from January to December to see, how these storylines will play out and how he would do it. We couldn't even get that. Vince McMahon just couldn't help himself. Just was I don't know how he felt, but I mean, it wasn't like the company was going bad. The company was doing well and continued to do well in his absence, which everybody thinks WWE can't run without Vince McMahon. Well, that myth was destroyed with Triple H's reign. But what do we think about the future of WWE, possibly with or without Triple H?
Without him is going to be a huge loss. With him, I think they'll do what they're doing now, continuously flourish. I mean, you look at all the people he brought back that Vince fired. He brought all these people back and put them in prominent roles to show you that Vince didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I just saw them debut Bronson Reed yesterday, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy's going to be a monster, man. Like, and the fans didn't know him, but they were getting into him because they booked him in a squash match. And that's what I like. Triple H is, at being a wrestler, he knows what gets over with the crowd. So that's kind of how he's booking the show. Novel idea. Book something that your fans like. I mean, it's a novel idea.
And he evolved with the times, you know what I mean? Like the product that he had in NXT, it wasn't something that, you could see Triple H wrestling in.
You're right.
But he understands the modern day wrestling fan, you know what I mean? It may not be my cup of tea, but he understands that, okay, like, it's a new generation out here. We got to put out a product that's going to benefit them. And that's what he did in NXT. Like I said, I don't know when he had the help with the heart issue or whatever, and they gave it back to what they had Brother Love booking it after him, right?
No, Vince took it over and turned it into NXT 2.0.
So Vince was sole creator?
Yeah, he took over
in NXT.
Yeah, he took over.
Okay, I thought it was Bruce Pritchard.
No, and then they brought Shawn Michaels in after the fact under Vince's guide, though.
Okay, yeah, I mean, like, the fact of the matter is, Vince always looked at NXT as developmental. That's what it is. That's what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Triple H didn't see NXT like that, and Triple H saw NXT as the yellow brand. This is what this is. It's separate, all on its own. You know what I mean?
I look at NXT like an ECW. That's the way I looked at it as ECW, not the violence part.
ECW with WWE money.
Right. They would be in smaller venues, and it would be more on about the wrestling aspect than the storylines. I just thought
they were They were in smaller venues because that's what the budget entailed for NXT. If I'm pretty sure if Triple H had his way, it would have been bigger.
But remember, they were selling out Barclays,
right,
for the takeover shows.
Yeah, them takeover shows, man. Yeah, them takeover. I remember watching some of those takeover shows during WrestleMania weekend, and they were the better show. Like,
but much better,
most of the time.
Much better.
I still say one of the best women's matches I ever saw was Bayley and Sasha Banks, and I don't even like them.
Yeah, Bayley and Sasha.
I'm like, damn, this match off the chain.
That's where Bayley peaked.
So so Triple H understands how to run a program, but he also understands what the wrestling fan wants, and that's what he gave.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. So now we should go into on the next topic would be AEW, and there's two things specifically we want to cover in AEW. That's the MJF feud with CM Punk. And then ultimately, towards the end of the year, we had that infamous Scrum interview. What are our thoughts on MJF and CM Punk and the Scrum?
So CM Punk is the guy that believes his own hype. I'll put it that way. And so hear me out. I was a huge CM Punk fan in WWE. As a matter of fact, you remember when I tell you guys I take these times off of wrestling? I stopped watching wrestling after the Chris Benoit thing. Guess when I started back watching? In 2011 when CM Punk dropped the pipe bomb. So for that whole time I hadn't watched, but I heard them talking about this guy that went on wrestling and basically told Vince McMahon off. And I'm like, let me check it out. And then I checked it out and I never looked back since. So I won't say I love CM Punk and I think he's a fantastic wrestler, but he's the guy that believes that the wrestling business needs him versus him needing the wrestling business. MJF, great up and coming talent. I don't think he's anywhere near ready to be a world champion for a promotion because I've never heard him cut a promo where he couldn't cuss in.
What about his in-ring ability?
Well, his in-ring ability that I know of is what I watched him on MLW because I never watched him on AEW. I used to watch him on MLW. When he was with that girl and that other guy. So he's a good wrestler. He's a good wrestler, but nothing about him, nothing. And to me, you know what I think really gives me is his face. Because he looks like there's this cartoon character, I think Dilbert is his name. He looks like Dilbert. And every time I see him, I'm just like, the guy that looks like Dilbert is their champion, huh? So I mean,
I'm not gonna get that out of my mind now. Why did you say that?
He'll probably grow on me, especially when he comes over to WWE. He'll probably grow on me, but I think Daniel Bryan should be AEW champion over MJF because Daniel Bryan doesn't have that much time left because of the concussion history and stuff like that. And Daniel Bryan is a much bigger name than MJF, and Daniel Bryan is a much more professional guy that you could put your company's title on and he'll show up. He won't hold you up for money. All that guy wants to do is put on kick-ass matches. So to me, MJF is just like MJF's name could have been what's Ted DiBiase's son? Ted DiBiase Jr. Up and coming guy, maybe a real big deal, but big fish in a small pond right now. That's how I see. As far as the media scrum, I think it was the most unprofessional thing in the business, but I blame Tony Khan for it because
you don't blame CM Punk at all.
No, because CM Punk is who CM Punk is. CM Punk goes on TV and you give him a live mic, he's going to do whatever he wants. CM Punk also works for Tony Khan. You can't go and sit next to your boss. I work for somebody. I would never sit next to her and go on a tirade and just rip the company to shreds and cuss out the sponsors and plug my own donut company shit that he was plugging. Like it would, and then have the owner of the company sitting there with his doofus ass just looking at him like, oh God, I don't know what to do. Cut the mic. Cut the mic.
It's one thing to do that behind closed doors where the two of you are hashing it out. It's a whole other thing when cameras are right there.
You cut the mic.
Here's a correlation for you, and this is why, like, I've never really been a CM Punk fan. The whole pipe bomb thing, like, from a wrestling standpoint, yeah, it may have been a big deal. For me, just being a real person and knowing like what's what, I think it was a sucker move. Correlation. When MJF had that match with Wardlow, and then the night after he talked all that shit, that's a correlation between him, and the fan that he was of CM Punk and what he did that night. You going out, you shooting in the middle of the ring and trying to make an angle out of it. To me, that ain't wrestling. You know what I mean? That's what I think CM Punk did when he did the whole pipe bomb thing. And then MJF just turned around and did the same thing. You know what I mean? MJF, to me, I see the appeal. Like, I ain't gonna say I don't. I see the appeal. Like he's a dude. He come out with his suits and he can talk like hell. Can't nobody deny that. Like he can talk like a mug. You know what I mean?
Do it
So
without cursing everybody out, though.
well, again, we have to understand. We have to understand today's wrestling fan. It is what it is. You know what I mean? That's what his mic got him over. That's what got his wrestling ain't have nothing to do with him getting over. It was all mic skill.
Nick Bockwinkel would tell you off using the dictionary.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. You know, like I said, you have to understand today's wrestling fan. So I can, me personally, would I put the belt on him now? No, I wouldn't. I don't even think MJF had a good mid-card run in AEW yet, let alone, being the main guy. I wouldn't do that.
So you think that he's undeserving to be the champion at this moment?
When has MJF had a good mid-card run in AEW? He ain't even had that yet.
Somebody agree with me. Thank you.
Damn, build him up in the mid-card first. Why has he not been TNT champion?
I'm reserving my full opinions on MJF. I still want to see a little bit more, and I kind of want to see what happens between him and Bryan Danielson. I think Trevor's right. I think pound for pound, Bryan Danielson is the best wrestler in the world. I
ain't gonna say all that.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I agree. Pound for pound, yeah.
He's the best wrestler in the world. He can have a great match with just about everybody, big, small, or in between.
So you taking him over AJ Styles?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
AJ is my personal favorite. He'll be my personal favorite. But Danielson, he's something serious. He's not just a wrestler. He has a little bit more than that average wrestler, and he can go. He can go. So I would say he should be champion right now, and maybe that's going to happen when they finally meet. They're supposed to have an Iron Man match, a 1-hour Iron Man match, but MJF is saying there's no way he wants to wrestle that, which kind of looks bad for him because you should want to do that. But I don't know.
He doesn't want to get outclassed, though.
I mean, you should want to push the greatness. I mean, I understand he's doing this heel thing, but even when Ric Flair was doing the heel thing, he was still boasting and bragging about being able to go longer than everybody else and do more work than everybody else. So that part is kind of missing. I don't know if you saw last week's was it Dynamite, where Bryan Danielson came out to the ring and he ran. I mean, I ain't never seen somebody run so fast when he saw Bryan Danielson. So,
hey, I'm intrigued now. I'm intrigued. So, Bryan Danielson wasn't in any of y'all top 10. I'm kind of intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, because I feel like he's still writing his history. A lot of the guys in our top, he's not old. He's not old at all.
Yeah, he's like 38. He's getting up there.
I think he's older than that, man.
No. I'm saying his age may be older, but his legacy being in the spotlight isn't like 25 years, 20 years, 30 years. He's not like that. We were talking about guys that had been in the bit, like Flair's been in the business like 40 years. Sting is over 25. I mean, these guys, Undertaker, 30 years. I mean, those are the guys that he's going up against.
I think him and AJ is like around the same age. I think AJ right now is like 43, 44.
Yeah, AJ is older than me. Yeah, AJ is like 44.
They're around the same age.
The reason Danielson wasn't in my top 10 is because I would have to put him up there with Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, and I couldn't do that.
Oh my!
I couldn't do that.
Oh.
I think when his career is over. When his career is over, it's gonna be there.
Yeah,
he's gonna be there. Bryan Danielson is very good. I think CM Punk is the guy that should have the question mark, because I don't know if you guys watched CM Punk in MMA. He didn't look that good. So
yeah, but he should have never been there. He should have.
I've never considered. See, I take like Bryan Danielson. He has some wrestling skill. I ain't gonna say that he's not, but I mean, I just never liked it. CM Punk, I don't see like as far as being a wrestler, yeah, but skillfully, no. I've never seen that with CM Punk. That's just me.
There's a video on YouTube that it was saying something about this is how CM Punk will do in MMA, and it shows him in WWF doing like repeated kicks, but when he was trying to kick the guy, he was like off balance. He almost fell, and the kicks were not convincing looking. They weren't, he just looked awkward and out of place. And that's kind of what I see with him. He's a good wrestler, but like he's not really that guy like that. And I think a lot of his boasting is just because he's a little bitch. I don't really feel like CM Punk is all that. I really don't.
He thinks he's better than what he is, and this is the same guy that got beat up by Teddy Hart, like in a real shoot fight. So
I was just about to say that.
He had no business.
Right, he's one of those guys that are not legit. Like Brock Lesnar, that's a legit guy. Goldberg is legit. There's some guys that like Scott Steiner. That's a legit. You're gonna have a problem with these guys. CM Punk, no, it's not legit. And I think like a guy like Bryan Danielson, he's not big, but he has the skills and he has that skill set. So I feel like Bryan Danielson is like a smaller Kurt Angle. That's how I view him, like a smaller Kurt Angle. So but CM Punk, he's not one. And that scrum that he had, that proved everything. I think his stock should be way low. I think he's probably out of AEW. I don't think he's going to come back because the video game that's coming out in a couple months for AEW, he used to be right on the cover in the front. And now they're showing promos, and he's not on that cover of the game. I think he might be gone. And maybe he goes back to WWE, and maybe WWE just exploits the heat that he has. But I think he comes back, you hear a little bit of noise, and then he'll just fizzle out. I don't think CM Punk is one of those guys, man.
So one thing I do want to say, my wrestler of the year, because I know we didn't say that.
We have one more topic.
No, go ahead.
It was WrestleMania. I'm sorry, WrestleMania. Just overall thoughts about the WrestleMania show, like how good or how bad it was. Because WrestleMania is supposed to be a big deal.
Night one was the best to me. The Cody Seth Rollins was awesome. When Seth was in that ring and he was like, come on, stop making me wait. And then the lights went down for a split second. I thought it was going to be The Fiend. And I was like, oh God. So, but when you heard that there's more than one, there's more than one royal family. No, there's more than one wrestling family. No, wrestling has more than one royal family. And I was like, holy shit. And then when that music played, I said, wow, Cody's back. That was like one of the best. And then my favorite female wrestler, Bianca Belair, also my daughter's favorite wrestler. The fact that she would main event WrestleMania night one in such a kick-ass match. The fact that she's only been in the business for a few years and she's picked it up like she has.
Yeah, she got it.
To me, if she keeps up with this 10 more years, she will be number one. No questions asked. She will surpass Charlotte Flair. She's close now. She's way better than Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is just a better merchandise seller, but this woman has it. And the thing I love about Bianca Belair is when my daughter looks at her, she's like, man, she looks like me. And that's one thing that we missed in wrestling so much. That's why when Bobby Lashley, WrestleMania, when they came back from the COVID year, and Bobby Lashley regained. No, he didn't regain it because he was a champion. So he held on to his title against Drew McIntyre, even though Drew got robbed in the COVID year, and that would have been his crowning achievement. The fact that WrestleMania, that was 2022, yeah. The fact that WrestleMania started and closed with a black WWE champion and a black WWE women's champion. It, like, when I tell you, wrestling for me is about moments, and I'm just like, damn, what are they going to do now that's going to stick me for another 10 years? and that was it. The fact that Bobby Lashley, who was underutilized by the company, he had a bunch of heat with Triple H. I would say that was one Triple H got wrong because Triple H never saw anything good in him. But the fact that he came back and he finally won the WWE title, I was just like, man, that is just awesome. And like WrestleMania Night 2 wasn't that great for me because the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match, they billed it as the greatest match of all time. It was terrible. I think they went home early. Something looked like it went terribly wrong, and it just wasn't good. And I didn't want to see them fight for the 8th time, even though their SummerSlam match was one of the best things I ever saw. But WrestleMania Night 2 didn't really deliver for me. But Night 1 was awesome with the Cody. Austin was Night 2, right? No, Austin was Night 1.
Night 1, yeah.
Yeah, the Cody, the Austin, like all that stuff, man. It just did it for me. Like it was awesome.
What do you think about the events now taking place on Saturdays as
opposed
to Sundays?
I love it.
It's much better, don't you think?
I love it, especially with football.
Right, because on a Sunday night, you got to go to school or work the next day. You know, here now you have a Saturday, you still have a whole day to recover after watching it. And you can just enjoy the night and not have to worry about doing anything. I think that was a better move. They should have had that forever.
And they're sticking with it too because the schedule came out for this year, and it's all Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's the winning way to go, man. I think you go into Friday, you're anticipating a Saturday, and Saturday the event happens, boom, and then Sunday you have that time to relax or release or whatever. And you could take in what you saw the previous night. So if the night goes a little longer, it doesn't matter. You still had the next day to relax and watch that again if you want. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And WrestleMania having 2 nights. WrestleMania 2 took place in 2 different venues. I think it makes sense.
I think it was 3. I think it was 3.
It was WrestleMania 2. I know it vividly. I
think it took.
One was in Los Angeles. It was the same night. Half the card was in Los Angeles, and half the card was
in Chicago. Yeah, it was in Chicago, and they had one in Madison Square Garden because the Mr. T Roddy Piper took place at Madison Square Garden.
Right.
It was 3 different locations.
3 different venues, my God.
Yeah, 3 different venues.
I think that that card was one of the weaker ones in all of pay-per-views, I think. I don't know how people could watch that. They must have had something else going on, but I mean, you're stretching pretty thin. I mean, you can imagine that crowd getting terrible. Oh my God. King Kong. That's the other thing. Hogan fighting all these fat guys. I mean, come on.
Well, you know, early WWF was just a heel factory for Hogan. I mean,
I know, but that doesn't do justice to Hogan, and that didn't do justice to the fans because you couldn't see. That's what I tell you. That's what gravitates me to the NWA because Flair was having these ridiculously great matches against these great opponents.
The Flair that you don't like?
Flair was fighting against guys that were like physically fit and like could go. Hogan was just fighting against big guys.
The Flair that you don't like, though.
I explained my position.
Yeah, I haven't like WrestleMania. To me, my favorite event is Royal Rumble. And speaking of, I mean, I know you'll do it in the closing, but WrestleMania is more about it's WrestleMania. It's not about because the card itself is rarely ever good, and now is way too long. I mean, there was one WrestleMania 2 years ago that was 7.5 hours long.
Oh my God!
Like that's you can't like. How could I expect my child to watch wrestle for 7 hours? You know what I mean? It's like
that's why it's good that they split it up into 2 nights.
Yeah, I love the fact, but be the guy that only has tickets to one night. You know what I mean? It's like, man, you got to pick, and you don't know ahead of time what match is gonna
that's
be on what card.
Yeah, wrestling used to be so much better because you would know months in advance. Ultimate Warrior is fighting Hulk Hogan. You knew that for months. And it's not like that anymore. Like you would actually have to sell a main event. Now they're not selling a main event. They're just selling a spot to sell. Yeah, and that's a problem because there's nothing to me like the WrestleManias that happened in the last 10, 15 years. They're all so bland and uneventful to me. Whereas when I think of WrestleMania, I could vividly remember WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 6, WrestleMania 5, because they had an event, a main event. Even the SummerSlam, Hulk Hogan going up against Earthquake, I believe, one year. I mean, there was specific things you can remember. And then they also had theme music. Like the music they play these days are so lame. I don't know what they're thinking. Like they
don't
like
want to pay they don't want to pay the rights fees.
yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad now. I wish it would go back to each event having its own unique sound and feel to it, you know? Because when you had that WrestleMania had its own little theme music for a long time. Yeah, that was like the NFL. The NFL has their theme music. Why did they get rid of that? It was actually pretty good. And when you heard it, you know, okay, that's the time of year. You know, it's that time. And then Mean Gene would run down the card, and then like it would be a week to week. Sometimes it'll be just 3 matches they have for you. Then there'll be 8 matches later on, and you get up to 12 or so, and you're like, there you got your complete event, and you knew what you were buying into beforehand. Now it's just be there to see something.
I think MD said he's in the back. The worst thing that could have happened to WrestleMania to me is they gave everybody a spot. WrestleMania used to be, you know, you bust your ass in the year, you get your storyline, and it culminates at WrestleMania. WrestleMania should be where they reset everything. There should be no rematches at the WrestleMania. And now all they do is just a continuation and over. Now you got the WrestleMania rematch or the WrestleMania backlash. I'm like, come on, bro. You're supposed to reset the card. You should have a draft after every WrestleMania. Reset your card, reset your storylines, and that should be it. And that's
the celebrity filler.
Yeah, and I think that's where they killed WrestleMania. I think that's why one of the best WrestleManias to me was WrestleMania 30, because WrestleMania 30 had no celebrities. It was straight wrestling, and it probably had 10 matches. And that's the one where Daniel Bryan won the title. WrestleMania 31 is going to be my all-time favorite for a different reason, because that was the night where
Sting got screwed.
No, that might.
Oh, that was the next year after that.
It was that WrestleMania, but that was the night my daughter was born the day before. And my daughter
wasn't Sting in 32.
No, he was in 31, and
it was. That's how eventful. It was in Santa
Ana, California, but that was at where the 49ers play. But that was a day after my daughter was born. My daughter was born 3 months early, so she was in the hospital fighting for her life, and my wife is in another hospital. My daughter's in another hospital. I'm running back and forth to hospitals, and my wife could see how tired I was, and she was like, you know what, please go home and just try to clear your mind. And I went home, turned on the TV, WrestleMania was on, and they put on one of the better shows. I was just like, damn, I'll never forget that WrestleMania. I never forgot it.
Y'all are in Florida. Y'all never been to a WrestleMania live?
I've never been. WrestleMania 28 was here. I had the potential to get tickets, but because it was at Dolphin Stadium, I didn't want to go because I didn't think it was going to seat well. I didn't know how well you could see the ring and everything. And plus, I was just at a Dolphin game last week, and it took me 2 hours to get home. So can you imagine what it was like to go to a WrestleMania? But
I went to 27, man. 27 was horrible, man.
Yeah, that was a terrible. The only good match in that was Undertaker
and Triple H.
Yeah, Undertaker and Triple H. because that match was different. Like that match.
I was like, all my life I've been waiting to go to a WrestleMania. Yeah. You mean tell me y'all give me this?
Yeah. Well, at least you didn't see John Cena and The Miz.
Well, yeah,
that was 27.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that is the worst thing. Oh, okay, yeah. That's how uneventful these WrestleManias are. They're like mashed and mushed into each other because they're not definitive and descriptive enough. They just even the cover of the DVDs and the Blu-rays, it's just a bunch of guys in a circle, and it's just people on the roster. It don't make sense.
I was so pissed off when the Undertaker and Triple H match was starting. You know, I was so hyped. Okay, I finally get to see a WrestleMania Undertaker and Triple H entrance. The Triple H entrance was okay, but then the Undertaker entrance, they played fucking Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, there ain't no
That ain't the Undertaker.
grave that's gonna hold his body down.
I was like, come on. I was like, bro, like this is the Undertaker WrestleMania entrance. Like just do the original. What are you doing?
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Have you ever seen a live Undertaker entrance, like with his real music?
Yeah. I went to, well, I kind of sort of did. I went to saw Survivor Series 25 years of Undertaker when they had
okay.
That was Brothers of Destruction though.
I was at Royal Rumble 2006, the one that Rey Mysterio won, and at the end of the night, Kurt Angle had just beat Mark Henry. And then the lights went off and the gong hit, man. When I'm telling you, that place, that roof almost blew off of the AAA arena. Undertaker came out on these two white horses. I'm like, man. Bro,
yeah, the Survivor Series. Yeah, Survivor Series was tight. They had the big ass casket with the screen in it. And Kane came out first. And then he shot the fire and the fire was on the Undertaker. Like, it was tight. But it wasn't the authentic, full Undertaker entrance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never saw that. At least I don't think I did. I done been to so many damn shows, I don't remember.
Yeah, Undertaker, man, that's the pageantry with him is just always unparalleled.
I think last thing I'll say before I go, I don't know if y'all talked about Jay Briscoe or not.
Yeah, earlier in the show.
Okay, yeah, man. Like it was tragic, man. Like I knew a little about Jay Briscoe with the ROH stuff that I did see. I wasn't a big ROH guy, but I did see him live too at an ROH show. I was telling Blackson, a friend of mine, he does stage lighting for a lot of the events in Atlanta, and they were having an ROH event in 2017. It was a ROH Saturday night. It was like a paying homage to like WCW Saturday night, but it was an ROH TV taping, and I saw it was him against who was he wrestling that night? Christopher Daniels. He wrestled Christopher Daniels that night, and yeah, man. I mean, like I knew a little of his career, but not much. But it's a tragic situation, man. Then he had his kids with him. Like, damn.
See, that's what I heard. It was another passenger and a child.
Yeah, both his daughters was in the stuff I seen earlier. Both his daughters were in the car. One of his daughters actually had broken vertebrae in her back.
No.
So she had to have surgery today. The other daughter just got nicked up real bad.
Dang, so both his daughters was in the car when he died in the car accident. Oh, man. Yeah. See, I didn't see that. When I saw the story this morning, it just said that he was killed in a car accident. I didn't know. I didn't get the details because it said it was another passenger and a child in the back, but they said the child was okay.
Yeah. Actually, both his daughters. So the other person that got killed was actually the other person in the other car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the other person in the other car was killed. Jay Briscoe was killed, and then Jay Briscoe had his two daughters in there with him.
Man,
and like I said, according to the reports, she had to have surgery today because she got broken vertebrae in her back. The oldest daughter,
38 years old.
Yeah, it's jacked up, man.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
I can only imagine like how his brother feel, man. Like,
yeah. And then, like that's you. When you hear about the Briscoes, I've never seen them wrestle, but when I hear about the Briscoes, I know you talking about, Jay and Mark. Man.
Yeah.
That's sad, man. Life is just ridiculously short. Ridiculously short.
Thank you all for being here tonight. It's a very important night for pro wrestling, for the pro wrestlers, and for so many pro wrestling fans. And you are great live fans to be here tonight for a celebration of the life of a great man by the name of Jamin Pugh. You may know him as Jay Briscoe. Yeah. Jay Briscoe, a legend in Ring of Honor, an inaugural Ring of Honor Hall of Famer, a two-time Ring of Honor World Champion, 13-time currently reigning Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion. He was on the very first Ring of Honor show over 20 years ago, and he's been on every Ring of Honor show effectively up to this point. So thank you for being here to honor the life and legacy of a great man. Thank you very much.
Hey, Venkat, make sure and give the rundown for what's coming up next week, because we're doing the Royal Rumble show next week, right?
Right, we're doing the Royal Rumble. After this show ends in a few minutes, we're gonna do the after show. It'll probably be quick, but the stadium after show. And I'm gonna go down about the Royal Rumble show next week. So I appreciate both you guys. Appreciate Blackson. Appreciate Zay and everyone else in the arena. People in the chat. Thanks for listening tonight. Everyone have a great night, and thank you for tuning in. Peace.
The Arena Uncensored.
Oh yeah, Black Sun in the hizzle, all the shizzle dizzle.